Alright guys, so we are at our local Walmart. We are going in and wife has to pick up a couple things, but I want to do a video today on bartering items, non-food related. We want items that can be traded for food or services in S.H.T.F. So when I go in, I'm going to show y'all these items. They're cheap to get. It's something you might want to think about preparing with. Most of these items we have on hand anyway just for survival. But I really believe that having things that sustain life is a good bartering item. Okay, so Gulf wax. This here can be used for a lot of different purposes, but we're going to focus on candle making. Alright, when S.H.T.F happens and when commerce starts rebuilding, being able to make candles and use those candles for trade and sale, it's probably a good idea to start looking into that as a bartering item. Having the ability to offer a service, and this right here, making candles so people have a way to be able to see things at night, might be a good option. So next up on our list is food dehydrators and other canning equipment. Here's a pressure canner. These are good ideas for bartering systems. I wouldn't recommend trading off my canners or dehydrators, but having the way of preserving other people's food is a service. Okay, when people are able to bring down large animals, deer, etc., being able to can fruits, vegetables, meats is going to be a service that is definitely going to be worth having during S.H.T.F, and it's another means of setting up a barter system. So now you have the ability to can fruits, vegetables for other people. So it does make you an asset and makes it so that people have to come to you to have things done. Now socks is definitely going to be an item people are going to be looking for. Socks in itself is, besides comfort, as far as having something clean to be wearing, is perfect for hygiene too. Having a supply of socks is definitely going to be one of those key items to be bartering out. And also underwear. Believe it or not, people need underwear, and people do not store extra underwears and socks. Now I don't mean lingerie, supermodel type of underwear. Unless you're trying to market a different type of bartering system, I would recommend just going with the normal types of underwear, stuff that people easily recognize, that are fully functional. That's the type of underwear I'd be going with. Unless you're trying to get into the nitty-gritty of the post-apocalyptic world, I'd be staying away from lingerie type of underwears. But in all honesty, a lot of people are going to be kind of going commando in the end times. I mean, it's just the way it is. So that's your choice on if you can be storing underwear for bartering, because most people, I don't believe, is going to be wearing them after about 6 to 8 months. TVs. No, we don't need any electronics. Okay, anything like that, just forget about. So let's go ahead and talk about fishing equipment. Fishing lines are definitely going to be items people are going to be looking for, because being able to fish for food is going to be key. So I would stock up on extra fishing line, fishing hooks, sinkers, cast nets, swivels, any type of item that you would need for fishing, I would stock up on. Alright, there's not that expensive of an item, so why not? Alright, there we got steel leaders. Steel leaders are great. I definitely recommend people putting that back. And we also have equipment making for traps. Here we got the lobster cages. Okay, actually these are crab cages. Same principle, having materials to make these things. That is going to be key in S.H.T.F. If you are living near a coastline or something like that, and having the ability to make traps for sale, for trade, and also just making traps so you can start collecting your own crabs, lobsters, things like that, is definitely going to be key. Alright, so now we have construction, wood screws. That's just not limited with screws, nails, hinges, eyelets, anything that you can think of for construction purposes. Alright, the hardware store is not going to be around anymore. Being able to fix things, shut up windows, doors that have been kicked down, having these tools is going to be smart to have. Fire starting equipment. Okay, right here we got the stormproof matches. It doesn't have to be matches. I like the matches. They're easily to trade off. I think having a way to start a fire is going to be key in SHTF. If it's going to be matches, if it's going to be lighters, whatever, as long as you got a stockpile of them. I think there'll be very good currency in trading off items in the barter situation. People will need to be able to start fires. Starting fires to boil water and to cook food. So having that along with being able to create fires for warmth, for security purposes at night, these items don't seem that important until you need them, right? So I definitely say these are very good items to have. Next up, camping fuel. Okay, these are the propane camps, gases. That's also the sterno, the larger propane for the larger camp stoves. Having a way to start a fire, cook your food is definitely key. We keep a lot of those on hand mainly because we use a lot of gas burners. That's what we're planning on using in Wyoming. We see the need for propane, things like that, for cooking food. Those also propane containers also work great for heat sources because they do have the little propane heaters. Something to think about. I think that would be a very good bartering item. And of course, down here in Florida, bug spray, bug wipes, bug creams, lotions, you name it, you need it. Having bug spray, besides your own quantity that you got put back, is definitely going to be something you want to have. I believe bug spray is going to be a huge asset in bartering. You can get the spray, you can get the creams, whatever it is you prefer. It doesn't matter to me. It all works very well. Mosquitoes are notorious down here, so we stock up on bug spray. Next up are tarps. Okay, seems simple. We all keep them in our bug out gear. Tarps for a bartering item is a smart move. Okay, hurricanes and storms do not stop because S.H.T.F has happened. You always see the hurricane damages for homes and things. Roofs are always damaged. Tarps, I believe, would be a very good item. They're not expensive. Having some of these put back, I believe they'll be very well on trading off later. Backpacks. Okay, how many people do you know that are not preppers, that don't have backpacks? How are they going to be transporting their goods? How are they going to be transporting their supplies? What are they going to be doing? Rolling down the street with shopping carts? Doing excursions out in the woods? If you're hunting, fishing, whatever, you got to take gear with you. Having a backpack is definitely going to be an important part of survival. So I think these would be great bartering items as well. Now, do yourself a favor. Don't do what you see these people doing here. Alright, especially in today's time, let alone S.H.T.F, because you might wind up being that guy. Yeah. Next up, water purification. There's all kind of different water purifications out there, guys. I definitely recommend getting these, not just for yourself, but also bartering items. I think having a way to purify water is going to go a long way in S.H.T.F, especially with bartering alone, not just your own survival. Having a way to sell or trade an item that promotes someone's life-sustaining abilities, filtering out water. Water is most important in S.H.T.F. With all the pollution we already deal with in today's society, imagine what it's going to look like when there's no one there to clean this stuff up. Now, salt is another item. I said no food item, but salt I don't consider food. I'm using this as preparation, preserving. With all the hunts that are going to be going on, having a way to salt cure meat is definitely going to be very important. The body needs salt anyway, but when you start shooting larger game, let's say that you've managed to nail a bunch of them at one time, being able to smoke your own meat, salt cure your own meat is definitely going to be key in S.H.T.F. So I do see salt being a very smart buy for a bartering item. And speaking of hunting, ammunition. Ammunition is definitely going to be a very good bartering item. Okay, having the ways to hunt food and protection. Ammunition is definitely a good item to have. Okay, bike repair kits, bike tubes, bike chains. I hear a lot of people talking about using bikes as a secondary mode of transportation. when the grid goes down, S.H.T.F, because fuel will be hard to get, having basic items for repairs, I believe, is going to go very far with bartering items. All right, this stuff is not being made anymore. Bikes, yeah, bikes work very well as far as transportation modes. It might be one of the best options to go with when S.H.T.F happens. Having the extra tools to fix these bikes, I believe, is going to go a long way with the bartering system. And we have medication. Pharmaceutical companies are not making any more medication during S.H.T.F. They will be shut down. Your basic stuff, cough syrup, Tylenol, your basic pills and remedies that you use right now might be a good idea to stock up on. I do believe that they will have a lot of value in S.H.T.F because people are going to be working a lot more than what they're doing right now.